Hey guys. So, you guys are tuned in to Las Comadres on KROJ 101.5 FM, Radio Olin. And you guys are listening to the voices of Comadre Diosy.
Comadre Maria.
And Comadre Alex.
And today we are joined by Liz from Aguas Frescas. Liz.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. That is how we met you.
Yes,
but you
ma'am.
do so many things in the community. And, you know, I want to allow you to just kind of share a couple of those things that you participate in.
Oh my goodness, where can I start? Okay, so as you said, I am an entrepreneur. Aguas Frescas by Liz. I do attend a lot of the community events here at the San Fernando Park, at the San Fernando Outdoor Market, and other communities that I also attend as well. I am a full-time student at CSUN. Another great thing that I am very proud of. I'll be actually graduating spring of 2025.
Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Thank you. In addition to that, I just became a member of the Chamber of the City of San Fernando.
Oh.
Yes, that's what's
Wow.
up.
Yeah, so a lot of
Stand
things. a lot
up,
of
represent.
things. Thank you.
Huge win.
Yeah. Thank you. So I've been able to speak a little bit on my community, actually, for at City Hall in regards to just a couple issues that have been going on. But, you know, I've been kind of like the voice and representing for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something a little, I want to say, different for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to say thank you to Sean Rivas, because he's the one that kind of
Sean.
got me, you know, to get this going. And so I really want to shout him out as well. So amazing. Yeah. But I also want to introduce one of my really good friends. She's also a CSUN student. And her name is Monica. You want to say hi, Monica?
Hi, everyone. I'm Monica.
Hi, Monica.
Hi, Monica.
Monica.
Thank you for joining us, Monica.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is
course.
a wonderful surprise.
Yeah, of course. Do you want to share anything about, like, maybe what you're going to school for and anything else that you want to share with our listeners?
Yes, of course. Well, like Liz said, I also go to CSUN. We actually met there, and we're both in the public health program. I'm also a senior. We'll be graduating in hopefully May, spring 2025, along with Liz. And we kind of just clicked through school. I think we were both just going through so much, you know, juggling, you know, family, full-time work, full-time school, you know, so much. You know, we just recognized. I'm like, we saw the fear in each other's eyes. Is what I say.
It's called biostats.
It's called biostats.
I was just going to ask what class was it in particular that sort of joined you?
Yeah.
It was biostats. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Professor Tasheen, by the way. I know she's listening. So.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, shout out, Professor.
Oh.
We got a
Is that good of a
professor
name?
from CSUN listening to us, y'all. Whoa. Thanks, Liz. Monica, we've met a couple times. Liz is kind of a little bit of a glue here for us, as at least a couple of friends that we've made already, that you've brought us together. What was your other friend's name? With the pixie cut?
Nicole. Oh, Nicole.
Nicole. I
yes.
love Nicole.
Yeah.
Nicole is literally the energy I want to give when I'm older. Yeah. Definitely.
sure, for
She's
sure.
like,
She's
she was
amazing.
teaching me about wine at Bo Devi the other day. Yeah. I was like, tell me, please, because I don't know anything. I know I look at percentage. That's it. But yeah, she had some really nice tips on wine. But yeah, we've met. Liz hosted a bonfire
Oh, yes, I did. At my house.
at your house. And then
Oh.
I think we met up for game night at Bo Devi. And then that's where we actually met up with Z. And then Z knows you, which was like news to me. So just, you know, we're also kind of interconnected in the community. And so, yeah, it's been really lovely. I know I've been dying for you to meet my comadre Maria. I've talked to you a little bit about her. I also invited her to the last Bodevi meeting we had, but she couldn't make it.
I couldn't make it that day.
No.
But
It's okay. Next time.
next
Next
time,
time,
absolutely.
for
We went
sure.
to
A
the
lot more.
trivia night, so maybe next trivia night
Yeah.
we'll have to ask Liz to
Liz
be in
Liz
our
was
team.
like, homegirl, what's up? You didn't tell me about trivia night. I was like, listen, Liz, it was a last minute thing. Like, I'm sorry. But yeah, trivia night was so fun.
And by the way, I did suggest Loteria Night
Oh
at
yeah.
Bodevi,
Oh,
so they're planning that out,
fun.
right?
Yeah.
See?
Loteria
Okay.
night. Look
Yes.
at
I
you
have a good
using
host if
your
you guys need
You
one.
know,
your
Hispanic.
chamber voice already.
Yes, of
Putting in
course.
those ideas.
Are we going to use beans or are we going to use pennies?
We'll figure it out.
I had friends that used beans, so.
I used
Yeah,
beans.
I use beans.
Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't a thing. Okay.
I definitely used beans for Loteria. But anyways, so Liz, we were just talking about impactful moments in 2024, and I wanted to give you some space to share some impactful moments of your year.
I think this last semester really was hard on me. I want to say, with being an entrepreneur and everything, all the homework, the research papers, the presentations, making sure that I was passing every single class. I'm taking 5 classes. I can't remember how many taking. I was taking 5 classes, and it's just like it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, not only that, right? But I also have to be out there for the community and be at the meetings, and not only that, but also being a mom and a wife. And so it definitely is. I gotta kind of divide myself,
Yeah.
in several ways. And
Yes.
kind of just figure out, okay, what am I gonna do, at 8:00 in the morning? What am I gonna do at 10? What am I gonna do at 12?
Mhm.
What time am I gonna clock out of school? What time am
Yeah.
I gonna clock in as a mom,
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur, right? So definitely it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I think that was one of like the first like actual conversations you and I had was when you shared about like your busy schedule. And it just was so relatable because it's exactly what I'm going through right now. Like we don't have very similar lives, but like we have like similar struggles in our lives. And that was something that I definitely connected with you when you were talking about, like being an entrepreneur, being a mother, being a student, kind of going through these transitions in life right now, during such difficult moments in, society and with everything that is like kind of just so negative, but like negative for a reason, like there's some pretty gnarly stuff going on. So, I always use that word gnarly and I don't know if I'm using it right, but anyway. But yeah, so, that conversation we had, you mentioned how you have a very strict schedule for yourself when you go to school. And so you basically like treat it like a job, right?
Correct.
Where you said like, here's my 8 hours, and then like you'll even track like your overtime.
Yes.
And so can you share a little bit about that and like maybe how that has been useful for you this year?
Yes. So actually, I used to work for the WIC program for 22 years. And when I got laid off in 2023, I decided to go to school full time. When that happened, I couldn't continue, or I couldn't allow myself to have or not have a schedule, right? Because I always said to myself, once I go back to work, I need to make sure I get up in the morning, I take a shower, I get ready, I take my kids to school, and I'm up and about. And so that's what I do on a daily basis. So, I mean, my classes can start at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm at school between 8:15 to 8:30, and I'm just either catching up with whatever it is, whether it has to be with schoolwork or it has to be with, my business.
Is parking still bad?
Yeah, definitely. So I have to, and the fact that I get there early is actually not bad.
Yeah. I when I went to CSUN, I graduated from CSUN as well. And parking, I had to get there like 30 minutes, 40 minutes before my classes started so that I can find parking. Because parking, there's so many students, and
Right.
back then there were even less parking lots. So it was like a really like primo spot if you found one. But that would take up a lot of time, is just driving into the school, finding, like, circling around 30 minutes, finding a
Yes.
spot, and then parking, and then going all the way to Sierra
Yes.
Hall or wherever it is they need to go. And that's another 20 minutes.
I'm over here looking at Monica. I'm like, is this true?
And it's a commuter school.
And it's a commuter school. And then we're not talking about, like, night classes. I remember my night classes were from 7:50 to 9:50.
Yeah.
So I would get out of school around 10:30 at night. And it was scary walking to the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely is. I think just being in the area is also difficult. The traffic off Reseda,
Absolutely.
Devonshire, depending where you're coming from.
There's no like main freeways in the area either, right? Like it's like
The
really central.
405 is like the closest freeway, and then there's a 118
Yes.
that's around there. But there, you still have to drive a little bit of ways
Yeah.
from that to the school. And Monica, right?
Yes.
Is right. There is a lot of, depending on where you come from, you might hit a lot of traffic or just enough traffic to delay you, because there's a lot of commercial stuff in the area. There's
Right.
restaurants, there's shops, there's supermarkets, there's also like a lot of big high-rise buildings. So there's a lot of people that live in there, and
Right.
you have to kind of make your way through all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Public transportation, cyclists. There's always something going on.
Oh, the
in
scooters.
valley.
Let's not talking about the scooters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
I can imagine. Yeah, so I can totally just like just remembering back to those times of like having to do that, and it's a tough thing to do when you're a working person, and not only just a working person, but like you're a mother. So that's really commendable that you have the mindset to stick to something that is gonna help you, because a
Right.
lot of people know that they have to do certain things, but then you kind of like
Yeah.
once or twice, you kind of miss or whatever. But it sounds like your success depends on that that mentality of not having those
100%.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually the next subject that we're going to discuss, is how we define success as individuals, as, community, as raza, as, the Northeast San Fernando Valley. What is that definition of success, right? And if you want to share, Liz, like for yourself, like what has success looked like for you this year?
It's funny because yesterday there was a post on Instagram, and it said, like, share your 2024. And so I was going back to my pictures, and I never realized what I have accomplished this year. So obviously I was in the radio station with you guys, during some time this year. Mm-hmm. Like I said earlier, I became one of the members of the Chamber of San Fernando. Obviously I've been an entrepreneur, but also,
I mean, that's still a huge success.
yeah, and like hosting or sponsoring the VIP for the for the Poema Parade as well. Just being out there. And
I
being
saw that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so just being.
I saw you there.
Oh,
Remember? Didn't we bump into each other?
I can't remember.
Yes, you did, because you were like, "There's Aguas Frescas inside," and I was like, "Oh!" And I ran in there. I was there.
So y'all met.
I guess we met without.
You met without meeting.
I think we did, because I was
Did
like,
we?
"Hi, Liz," and you were like, "Hi," but you were like on your way to something, so you probably didn't even recognize me. But I was like, "That's Liz."
And it's so funny because a lot of people say
That's
hi to
cute.
me, and they're like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Hi."
You're like,
And
"I
then
don't
I'm
know,
I don't
yeah,
know
I
who
just-
that person is.
Exactly.
I'm
That's
sorry,
so
you guys.
That's the drawback.
Celebrity in the making.
Yeah, so that's the double-edged sword of being so involved in the community, that you have people recognize you and know you from where they see you, like they see you at the Pacoima Parade, or they see you at Bodevi with the chamber, they
Yes.
see you at the San Fernando Market. So
Yes.
it's really important to I think it also helps build that trust, and that's really
Yeah.
important.
Right.
But anyway,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we cut you off. So sorry.
No,
So
it's okay.
chamber.
It's
I mean
okay.
the Pacoima parade.
Pacoima
Yeah,
parade,
so
yes.
anyway, so it became a parade, and then I can't remember what else I posted, but it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, I did so much this year. You know?
Yeah.
So that's
Made new friends.
Yes, definitely. I made new friends. Yes, I met Sean.
Sean.
And I got to really meet Celeste. I had met Celeste. The Assemblywoman, right? Shout out to her, by the
Assemblywoman
way.
Celeste Rodriguez.
Yes. I had met her the year before. I think it was like 2023. I met her. And, I really got to meet her a little bit more this year and be more involved with them and, their campaign and shouting them out and things like that. But yeah, getting to meet a lot of these people that are higher up, that are in the city of San Fernando. And so I really feel blessed to have known, a lot of these people. And I also joined Team. I don't know if you guys know what Team is.
Team.
Team.
Can you tell us what it is?
So I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's an organization where you join, and they're all entrepreneurs, so business people.
Okay.
And so we get together once a week, and we talk about our businesses and how we can help each other out, how we can refer out. So we all know a lot of people, right? So if someone says, hey, I need insurance, car insurance, right? I need a home insurance, or etc., then I can go and say, hey, I know so-and-so, right?
It's looking for insurance.
Exactly. And then I'll go ahead and refer out. And so I kind of give them the referrals. They give me referrals. And so this is still fairly new to me, but
Okay.
that's another organization that I joined this year as well.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So.
It's like a network of
Exactly,
of
like
entrepreneurs.
You do
business
so
people.
many things.
I know.
That's,
Yeah.
just listening to all the different things that you're involved with, like, you must be so good at scheduling. Or, like,
On top of having kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shout out to my husband. I can't take all the credit, My husband does help me out a lot, taking
His
the girls to
support system is
Yeah,
important
for sure.
you.
Picking them up from school when I can't pick them up, or taking them to soccer practices and basketball practices and
Yeah.
things like that. So I have my
You rock there.
for sure, my rock.
What about you, Monica? How would you define your success this year?
Honestly, this year, I want to say I really took a step back and just tried to focus more on myself. I know earlier you were talking about how difficult this year had been and just, all the obstacles you needed to overcome. And for me, that's also very true. Like Liz and so many of us, we're juggling so much that sometimes we forget about ourselves and how important it is to take time to just slow down and do the things we enjoy as individuals. So I definitely got lost in all the chaos, and, really had to take a step back and reevaluate where it was that I wanted my life to be going, kind of just rethink the meaning of life, really,
Yeah.
right? And I really had to do that these last couple months. It was really difficult for me. I, for the first time in my life, sought some help. And I don't know about you guys, but growing up, culturally, sometimes talking about mental health is
Yeah.
really difficult with your family.
Yes.
And with that being said, I decided to, I got to really seek that help for myself and reorganize myself, my mind, where I'm at right now in life.
Yeah.
And so for me, my success has been reacquainting with myself, reconnecting with my community. Liz has been such a wonderful support to me, and I've been able to meet you guys, and she's also shown me a little bit of what it's like to be a part of the San Fernando community, which has been wonderful. And so for me, success has been just living life,
Yeah.
enjoying the journey where I'm at right now.
Yes.
And just enjoying everything.
Yeah, I love that. I'm so proud of you. Girl to girl, like for real. That's so big. And I hope I'm there soon. You know, I think I'm on my way there.
Yes.
So, but thank you for sharing. That's so real. And yes, like getting help is definitely like a huge success. You know, a huge personal success. And just the stigma around like mental health and what it looks like to get help and what help looks like is so different now that like truly everybody like should really look into it for themselves. So thank you for echoing that.
Yes.
But what about my co-hosts? How about you guys? Like, how would you guys define your success this year?
For me, I want to, like, again, just sort of piggyback on what Monica was saying, really taking care of myself first. Growing up, like the firstborn daughter, you know, first, you have to experience a lot first. And your parents don't always really know what they're doing, not because they don't want to know or do better, but sometimes it's just like their experience sometimes can be hard as well. So sometimes that doesn't leave them with the best skills or the best tools to rear a child in changing times. So I think for myself, it's mental health. I've been working also with a therapist, and that's been really helpful because I was just telling her last week that I'm thankful for her pushing me to talk about those things that I don't want to talk about. Talking about those things and feeling those feelings that I've been like avoiding for so long. And I hate feeling like I don't want to talk about it, but once I do, I feel better. So I always go into my therapy like, oh my God, I'm going to talk about it now. Like, what feelings am I going to feel today? Oh, but then once I get out, I'm like, I feel so much better and it feels so good. And it's so important, like you said, taking care of your mental health and being an advocate for that. And I think that the fact that you're talking about like coming to terms with that is being an advocate, because you're talking about it freely and you're encouraging people that may be sort of like, I'm not sure. So that's wonderful, because it also reaffirms what I'm doing, right? Like, I'm like, oh, she's taking care of herself. Josie's taking care of herself. Liz is working on herself. Alex is working. So I'm like, oh, I'm doing something right, because I'm surrounded by all these people that are working on themselves. Yes, that are working on themselves and that are like-minded. And such a scary time right now. We're heading into the new presidency. Next 4 years are going to be hard. So it's about those moments that right now, like, we're building community, and we're going to be able to hold on to that for the next 4 years. So I think prioritizing my mental health has been, I think, a success for me. And I may not be where I want to be, like, professionally, because I do love my job and I do love what we do. But, you know, as you grow, you need a bigger pot. You know, to, like, you're a flower, you need a bigger pot. So I'm coming to terms with that. Like, I may need a bigger pot soon. But very thankful for the experiences that I've had and for the connections that I'm making now, because I don't know, that connection, this might turn into something in 5 years. Like, we may be, you know, attending Liz's grand opening of Aguas Frescas by Liz, brick and mortar, you know, mobile service, like all these things that we can look forward to, and happy to be part of that journey and to watch you grow as a businesswoman.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate all of the support that I get from everybody from here, from the Valley, and you guys as well, because you guys do help me promote my business. You know, it's not a big business, but it's growing. I see a lot of potential. A lot of people see a lot of potential. And it's great, you know. I can't wait for the future, to be honest with you.
I think that this is like, the business is obviously, the Aguas Frescas are amazing. Yes. Literally, Aguas Frescas, pan to the camera.
I mean, I'm trying to drink this very slowly, but
slowly,
I'm not,
y'all, because so good.
I'm not very successful.
But I think that the greatest thing about a small business is the entrepreneur behind it. And I think that it's so easy to get behind you and to support you just because of like what you're doing in the community outside of your business, what you're doing in your personal life outside of your business. That's what makes me want to like support you even more. Of course, like I said, the Aguas Frescas, amazing. But
Thank you.
you know, it's kind of like the same thing that is like I'm experiencing with like Maria's Tamales, which is now La Mariposa, because La Mariposa Mexican food, because they've grown so much within the last 2 years, specifically the last year. And it's due to like the love of community, right. The love of like these two people of mother and son who are like feeding the community at an affordable price, who are sacrificing their own sleep to service a specific, like they have a target customer, you know, and they're, yeah, so like that's exactly like the feeling I get when I support you, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. So, you know, just to add little sprinkles on top. But I share the same sentiment with my comadre. But comadre, just to kind of like also touch back on what you said, like this last year, having conversations with you, especially like we've had some conversations where like freshly out of like a therapy session, or, you know, even like, hey, like I spoke about this with my therapist and like I kind of want to talk about this with you. Just again, like those are huge wins and such huge success, just to be able to like confide in a friend like that, which is like, you know, when we went on our first friend date, you know, that was like a big moment for me, where I was like first trusting people for the first time in a long time after having really bad relationships. And, you know, like my comadre, like at the time she wasn't my comadre, she was just this girl from a class that I was like taking, just like you guys. Aww. And you know, like we were both just like very shy and very like weary of each other, but we really liked each other. And so like this friendship is a huge success to me. And you know, like this friendship has turned into like even more than a friendship. It's like, look at us doing Las Comadres together, like something that we talked about like so many times, something that I've talked about with so many friends too, starting a podcast, you know, like this isn't like a singular thing. Like I'm a creative, you know, but like who did it actually end up happening with? My comadre Tere. That's right. And so, you know, like just thank you for giving us the opportunity. Yeah. And yeah, like it goes both ways, yeah. But definitely like I needed you at the time that you came into my life, and like, yeah.
Thank you.
Big supporter of your success.
Yes, thank you. Same.
Alex.
To you.
Amazing.
I'm just enjoying just listening to y'all share your testimony, your stories. I mean, for me, you know, there's definitely been times in my life where like success has looked like, you know, every day taking a step towards your goals and trying to be a better person every day. I think this year there was definitely some of that, but I think it was also a lot more just like choosing me, you know, choosing me like in my personal life. And stepping away, it's kind of similar to what all you share, where you're, you know, just stepping away from places or situation or people that, you know, just like don't bring out the best in me, or aren't like helping me be the person that I want to be. And I feel like getting involved with Las Comadres and Voces Unidas being here has been like a super blessing. Obviously, I'm not a permanent host in the way that you guys are, but like just being able to be involved with it and like be part of this community, it feels like something that I had been trying, like manifesting for several years now, trying to find that community that I was, you know, had been missing for a while. So, you know, I think a lot just that, and like again, just doing things that I think my inner child would like really that like wanted to do as a kid, but maybe always felt like a shame about it, or kind of felt like, you know, some sort of these things that growing up you don't necessarily always have the opportunity to do or to do freely without judgment or fear.
Yeah.
And just now doing that and like loving it and like letting that inner child come out, I think has been one of my, I guess, a consistent success that I've tried to practice throughout this past year. Apologies for my voice.
Yeah. No worries.
I was like going
It's
through it.
okay.
And I was like, oh my god, I ran out of water. But yeah, I turned 25 this year too, and so I got that frontal lobe.
The frontal
already,
lobe
you
is
know?
fully
And so
developed.
fully developed.
I feel like certain things that maybe I've known or heard just kind of really
Clicked.
like click exactly. And just I think really thinking about the person that I'm gonna be for the next 10 years and maybe the rest of my life, and
Yeah.
so it's been a lot of that.
Wow. A lot of growing up, a lot of realizations, I guess, right? Thank you for sharing.
Thank y'all for listening.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I do want to say a little bit about mental health, though. I want to say that, as you guys were saying earlier about like back in the days, it was more of a stigma. It wasn't anything being brought up, and so I think that now seeing more help, and it's a little bit more. I kind of want to say common to hear about mental health. If anybody needs that support, find somebody to talk to, whether it's a friend, or just kind of go out somewhere, just go for a walk. A lot of the times we just need that air in our face,
Yes.
and it's definitely hard to admit that you need help. Right. I mean, I just went through a little something myself, like I said earlier, a lot of hats. I wear a lot of hats. And so, going through this last couple of weeks of my semester was really hard to try to get over all these obstacles with, with homework and things like that. And so, making sure, I had good grades and just, meeting the deadlines and making sure that I do everything the professors want to the T and things like that. It was really hard for me. So, a couple people kind of noticed me down and, they were like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
So knowing the fact that you need the help, even though sometimes you don't realize you need the help.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need the help. You don't know you need help. It's just, having a friend hold your hand and say, hey, why don't we go get some professional help?
Yeah.
It's a big thing. It's a big thing.
Would you consider yourself a type A personality perfectionist type of person, or?
Oh, not at all.
No? Okay. So it wasn't because like you felt like there were too many tabs open, but it was more like your soul just sort of needed a little bit of help.
So I think having my daughter, in middle school, I can't say junior high anymore. I get yelled at. So, so middle school, and talking to her and saying, hey, you need to get good grades and you need this. I can't. They say you can't point a finger because you have like three pointing back at you, right? So how am I gonna go and tell her you need to have good grades and you need to have making sure that if you didn't do well in a test, go back to your teacher and talk to them and say if you can take it again, and make sure you study or whatever right before you take it. How am I going to say that to my child when I'm not getting the grades, right? So that's kind of like where I was at with that, and I think I put myself so much pressure to the point to where it was definitely hard. It was definitely hard. And that's, I think, where my mental health kind of like started going down, so but now that I'm like done with the semester, I'm just trying to get back to a positive Liz, right? So
A more relaxed.
yes, more relaxed. And the holidays didn't help, to be honest with you, buying gifts and cooking and cleaning and etc. And it's just like, oh my gosh, it's just
It's
definitely
like it never stops.
Yes, seriously, it really does not. And so, now that we're going through that hump of finishing up the holidays. I want to say I can definitely take a breather.
And you're almost done too. You have like one semester left.
Correct. I have one semester left. I have 5 classes in my internship. And I'm like, and plus the business, so I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's a lot, but we're glad that you're sharing all of that with us and with our listeners, because a lot of people are going through a lot, like just like what you are.
Yes.
A lot of people started up businesses. A lot of people went back to school. A lot of people, like I said, COVID created so many transitions in people's lives, as we were talking about the aftermath of, those transitions still like being present today.
Yes.
And so, with that being said, we are going to take a little break before we go into the last bit of our show. But we wanted to give you like the chance to just maybe some last words. Also let our listeners know where they can reach you, where they can find you. And maybe, let us know when the next Coffee with the Chamber of City of San Fernando is.
Yeah, so obviously you can follow me at Aguas Frescas by Liz in Instagram. You guys can DM me with any of my hats, like I was saying earlier, whether it has something to do with the community. I can either guide you to where you can, who you can, speak to. Whether you guys want to order some agua frescas. And then, by the way, I did forget to mention I am a lactation consultant.
I was about to plug that in. I was like, just so y'all know, we never talked about it, but Liz is actually a big plug for any new moms, anybody who is breastfeeding. Liz is the plug, and I hope we can have you back on to speak specifically about this.
Oh my gosh, I would love to. Yes. That is that is my subject.
Where did you train for that?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so remember that I worked for WIC.
For WIC, I was gonna say, I'm like, that has to be a WIC connection.
Yes, and so they ended up sending me to take a class, which I ended up becoming a lactation educator, and I was doing that for many years. I also supervised the clinic as well, and so having that lactation education or lactation educator really helped me being able to promote breastfeeding. And also I had the opportunity to work for Valley Presbyterian through WIC, and so I was at the hospital full-time for a whole year, so I was able to work with NICU babies, PQ, labor and delivery, postpartum. So I was able to work for all those departments, and it was definitely very interesting.
It's a whole nother life.
It's a whole other. Yes. You guys, that's what I'm telling you. The onion keeps peeling. It keeps peeling. But yeah, Liz, let our listeners know.
Yes.
Where can they find you? And please let them know if they want to get involved. How can they get involved? And when is the next meeting?
Oh, yes, that's right. Okay, so once again, you guys can DM me at Aguas Frescas by Liz in Instagram. The next meeting is January 10th, and that's going to be at 8:15. It starts at 8 or 8:15. I can't remember, from 8 to 9. So if you guys want to come and join, have coffee with the chambers and, talk a little bit about, whether something's going on in the community or just, be a member, you guys are welcome to come by and, and just see what we're all about. Yeah.
Shout out to So For Real Though, says big fan.
Oh, thank you,
So
love.
For Real
Appreciate
Though.
You. Yes, appreciate you.
Thank
100%.
you, So, for listening in.
Get better soon, so.
Yes.
Yes. It's been a minute, So. We didn't have you on. Thank you so much, Liz. We're going to go on a quick little break, but if y'all didn't get that, Liz is on Instagram at Aguas Frescas by Liz with an underscore between each word. And that is where you can find Liz on Instagram. And again, you guys can find her and have a conversation at the chamber, a coffee with the chamber at Bodevi. Monica, any last words?
No, just thank you again. This was a wonderful surprise to be on here. It's my first experience on radio podcast, so
Yay!
Thanks for joining
Thanks
us.
for joining us.
Of course.
All right, y'all. Well, we'll be right back to end our segment. Again, this is Las Comadres on KROJ 101.5 FM. We're produced by Voces Unidas en Pacoima and Valley Views SFB Media. You're listening to the voices of Comadre Diosy.
Comadre Maria.
And Comadre Alex.
And we're signing off, Comadre
Liz.
and Comadre
Monica.
Hey! All right, y'all. We'll be right back.